All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh this afternoon. Sent our states to consider imposing COVID restrictions and curb mass gatherings in view of upcoming festivals. More than 48 crore 89 lakh doses of corona vaccine administered in the country so far. Bihar government further eases COVID restrictions by allowing schools to resume academic activities with 50% attendance. In Jammu and Kashmir, 8.5 km long tunnel between Kazigund and Banihal open for traffic. Indian and Russian armies begin joint exercise Indra 2021 at Volgograd in Russia. US approves arms sales worth $750 million to Taiwan amid tensions with China. India take 5-4 lead over Germany for bronze in men's hockey at Tokyo Olympics. And wrestler Vinesh Poghat enters the quarterfinal at the Tokyo Games. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise the young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise the listeners not to lower the guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh at 1 p.m. today through video conferencing. Uttar Pradesh is celebrating 5th August 2021 as Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana Day. Massive awareness program will be launched throughout the state to ensure that no beneficiary is left out from availing the benefits of the scheme. More from a Lucknow correspondent.
Today is also the first anniversary of the foundation laying ceremony of Grand Temple in Ayodhya. Although the Prime Minister will not be in Ayodhya on this occasion physically, but he will connect with the city of Lord Rama virtually, where Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will himself be present and the state-level function will be organized. The Prime Minister is also expected to interact with beneficiaries of various districts of a state. The function is being organized as Anna Mahotsav and the address of Prime Minister will be telecast live at all the PDS shops of the state. The state government is all set to make a record by distributing free ration under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana to around 1 crore beneficiaries from around 80,000 fair price shops in a single day. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Today is the second anniversary of the abrogation of Article 370. It is on this day in August 2019 when provisions of Article 370, which gives special status to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, was abrogated by the Union government. The state was further divided into 2 union territories, Jammu and Kashmir with Legislative Assembly and Ladakh without Legislative Assembly. Earlier, Jammu and Kashmir was the only state in the country with its separate constitution as per the provisions mentioned in Article 370, a temporary provision that grants special autonomous status to the state. After the revocation of Article 370, all central laws and various welfare schemes are applicable, and the decision has also paved the way for attracting investment in the region, which would in turn increase the potential for development. Increased investments would lead to increased job creation and further betterment of socio-economic infrastructure in the region.
Centre has advised states to actively consider imposition of local restrictions in public observation during the upcoming festivals and curb mass gatherings. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan has written a letter to Chief Secretary of all the states in this regard. He said the trajectory of daily new cases has shown a steady decline over the last month, but there are a few states which still reflect signs of upsurge in their daily cases and positivity. Mr. Bhushan said in view of upcoming festivals such as Muharram, Onam, Janmashtami, Ganesh Chaturthi and Durga Puja, where large public gatherings are expected, states are advised imposition of local restrictions. The Secretary said Indian Council of Medical Research and National Centre for Disease Control have expressed concern regarding the potential of mass gathering events during festivals turning into super spreader events, thereby leading to a spike in COVID cases. Mr. Bhushan reiterated that any laxity in ensuring strict adherence to the five-fold strategy of test, track, treat, vaccinate and ensuring COVID-appropriate behavior may result in losing the impetus that the country has gained so far in managing the pandemic. India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 48 crore 89 lakh. Union Health Ministry said that more than 38 crore vaccine doses were administered as first dose and 10 crore 81 lakh vaccine doses given as second doses so far. The new phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from 21st June this year. The ministry said more than 33 lakh 50,000 vaccine doses have been administered yesterday. Over 18 lakh 36,000 vaccine doses were administered as first dose and 3,89,000 vaccine doses given as second dose in the age group of 18 to 44 years yesterday. Over 16 crore 61 lakh persons in the age group of 18 to 44 years across 37 states and UTs have received their first dose since the start of phase 3 of the vaccination drive.
Odisha government has withdrawn the requirement of producing COVID-19 negative test report or the final vaccination certificate to enter the state. The government had earlier imposed this restriction in a bid to check the rising COVID-19 cases. More from a Bhubaneswar correspondent.
As per the earlier guidelines on entry crore, a person entering the state without the COVID-19 negative report or the final vaccination certificate had to undergo 7 days of mandatory institutional or home quarantine. Meanwhile, even as the state gradually emerges out of the long-drawn limbo of lockdown, Chief Minister Navin Patnaik, in a video message yesterday, appealed to the people of the state to continue observing COVID-appropriate behavior, failing which the state government may be forced to reimpose lockdown in the interest of public health. On the other hand, the world-famous Juggernaut Temple in Puri will reopen from the 16th of this month after a gap of more than 3 months. Girish Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Telangana reported 623 new COVID cases to the past 24 hours, taking the total cases in the state to over 6,47,000. The state is over 8,800 active cases currently. The state also reported 594 recoveries from corona, while the state reported 98.05% recovery rate. With this, over 6,34,000 persons have recovered from COVID so far in the state. Meanwhile, Telangana has crossed 1 crore 50 lakh mark in corona vaccination.
In Chhattisgarh, more than 1 crore 24 lakh COVID vaccines have been inoculated so far, including the first and second doses. About 90% of the people above 45 years of age in the state have got the COVID vaccine. A report from our Raipur correspondent.
More than 24 lakh people of the state have received both the doses of the COVID vaccine. Besides, 31% of the people in the age group of 18 to 44 years have got the first dose of COVID vaccine. Meanwhile, offline classes have started in the schools of the state from 2nd of August. In many schools, at the starting of the class, teachers first make aware the students about the COVID protocols and COVID-appropriate behavior. Thermal screening of the students are being done before entering the school premises. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Bihar government has further eased COVID-19 curbs by allowing the schools to resume academic activities with 50% attendance in classes 9th and 10th from August 7th. Similarly, primary and middle schools will also be open from August 16th. Coaching institutions can work with 50% attendance of students on alternate day. This decision was taken yesterday at a meeting of Crisis Management Group headed by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. The new relaxations will be effective from August 7th to 25th. All shops and business establishments will be open till 7 p.m. every day with a weekly closing on one day. Cinema halls are also open to operate till 7 p.m. with 50% of the seat capacity. Shopping malls will be open till 7 p.m. on alternate days. Public transport vehicles will be allowed to run with their full capacity of passengers. Night curfew will remain in force from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. every day. Religious places will remain closed.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 8.5 km long tunnel between Kazigund and Banihal has been opened for traffic on trial basis. This was informed by Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, yesterday. The tunnel will reduce travel time between Jammu and Srinagar by about 1.5 hours. Built at 5,800 feet above sea level, the tunnel replaces Jawahar Tunnel and will provide all-weather connectivity. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his vision of building quality infrastructure in J&K for the coming generations. Mr. Sinha further said that the completion of the tunnel will ensure all-weather connectivity between Jammu and Srinagar, besides giving a major fillip to economic activity in the region. President Ramnath Kovind is scheduled to interact with small tea farmers and those who practice organic farming at OT in the Nilgiris district of Tamil Nadu today. Later, he will witness the traditional dance performances by the South Zone Cultural Centre and the tribal artists of the hilly district. After a brief sojourn at the hill resort town, he winds up his tour tomorrow. Mr. Kovind is on an official visit to Tamil Nadu since Monday.
The budget session of the Tamil Nadu Assembly will begin on 13th of this month. The first budget of the new government will be presented in the House on the first day itself. The duration of the session will be decided later by the House Business Committee. The DMK had earlier announced that there will be a separate budget for agriculture. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana in Uttar Pradesh this afternoon. Centre asks states to consider imposing COVID restrictions and curb mass gatherings in view of upcoming festivals. More than 48 crore 89 lakh doses of corona vaccine administered in the country so far. Bihar government further eases COVID restrictions by allowing schools to resume academic activities with 50% attendance. In Jammu and Kashmir, 8.5 kilometer long tunnel between Kazigund and Banihal opened for traffic. Indian and Russian armies begin joint exercise Indra 2021 at Volgograd in Russia. US approves arms sales worth $750 million to Taiwan amid tensions with China. India take 5-4 lead over Germany for bronze in men's hockey at Tokyo Olympics. Wrestler Vinesh Phogat enters quarterfinal at Tokyo Games. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
The Indo-Russia Joint Training Exercise Indra 2021 commenced at Prudboy Ranges, Volgograd in Russia yesterday. It started an impressive opening ceremony that saw the unfurling of the national flags of both countries. Exercise Indra 2021 will enhance interoperability between the Indian and the Russian armies. The aim of the exercise is to facilitate joint training between Indian and Russian armies to jointly plan and conduct counter-terror operations under the United Nations mandate. The conduct of the exercise will also entail academic discussions between expert groups of both contingents. The exercise will focus on unit-level joint planning and conduct of anti-terrorist operations and will include cordon and search operations, intelligence gathering and sharing, perception management, humanitarian laws and hostage rescue and simulated settings. United States has approved its first arms sale to Taiwan amid rising tensions with China. U.S. State Department has approved the arms deal worth $750 million to Taiwan. Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the decision demonstrates the U.S. government's commitment to Taiwan. It also allows Taiwan to maintain a rock-solid self-defense and regional peace and stability. The move comes at a time when tensions between China and Taiwan are growing. The relations between China and the U.S. have also deteriorated in recent times due to various reasons, including Indo-Pacific and coronavirus pandemic. China has repeatedly threatened Taiwan with invasion and has adopted an aggressive policy to intimidate the self-governing island.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will be on a 2-day visit to Iran beginning today. He will attend the swearing-in ceremony of the President-elect Ayatollah Sayyid Ibrahim Raisi today. During his visit, Dr. Jaishankar will call on the President, and on the sidelines he will also meet other leaders. In the run-up to Independence Day, we bring you stories on sectors which have made major impact on the lives of citizens. In this series, today we bring you a report on rural development. The Narendra Modi government has laid special emphasis on rural development by creating infrastructure, providing job opportunities and imparting skill training to the youth. To achieve the objective of housing for all by the year 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had launched the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin PMAYG on 20th November 2016. The PMAYG aims at providing 2.95 crore houses with all basic amenities to the eligible rural population of the country. Launching the scheme from Agra, Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Modi said that electricity and LPG connection will also be provided to the beneficiaries under the scheme.
हमने घर ऐसा भी बनाना तय किया है जिस घर में बिजली भी हो, खाना पकाने की व्यवस्था हो। इतना ही नहीं, प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना के तहत उस गरीब को गैस का कनेक्शन भी मिल जाए ताकि गैस के चूल्हे पर वो खाना पका सके।
Our correspondent reports that the central government is implementing various other schemes in rural areas for the welfare of rural youth.
The government is implementing welfare schemes in the field of skill development and employment of rural poor youth. The schemes include Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana and Rural Self-Employment and Training Institutes. Under these schemes, more than 15 lakh candidates were provided training and 11 lakh candidates settled during the period of over last 3 years. Under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, during financial year 2020-21, more than 11 crore persons were provided employment and over 389 crore percentage were generated, while in 2021-22, 6 crore 51 lakh persons have been provided employment and more than 130 crore percentage were generated. This year in the budget, the government has allocated 73,000 crore rupees for this scheme. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Ladakh is celebrating the second anniversary of Declaration of Union Territory status today. Our Leh correspondent has filed this report.
As Union Territory, Ladakh administration effectively handled the COVID pandemic right from the beginning. The UT administration used the new status and took quick decision to establish testing labs and other logistic infrastructure requirements for COVID effective management. In 2 years, the UT administration chalked out plans to shift the people from tourism to land-based economic activities like agriculture, horticulture, food processing, and to promote carbon neutral industry in the region. Taking the cue from the pandemic experiences, UT Ladakh is the first in the country to provide offline digital learning through Yontan scheme and to bridge the digital divide. Increased mobile connectivity, air connectivity, implementation of central schemes, rural electrification, strengthening of grassroots democratic institutions are few measures to fulfill the aspiration of public, with Ramesh Chandra, Youngson Dolma for AIR News from Leh Ladakh.
RBI has extended the timelines by 3 months, that is till October end, for the banks to implement the various provisions of the circular regarding opening of current accounts. It has also asked banks to put in place a monitoring mechanism both at the head office and regional or zonal office levels to monitor non-disruptive implementation of the circular and to ensure that customers are not put to undue inconvenience during the implementation process. RBI has said that this extended timeline shall be utilized by banks to engage with the borrowers to arrive at mutually satisfactory resolutions within the ambit of the circular. Any issues which banks are unable to resolve themselves shall be escalated to Indian Banks Association (IBA) for appropriate guidance. Residual issues, if any, requiring regulatory consideration shall be flagged by IBA to the Reserve Bank for examination by September 30th, 2021. Banking regulators clearly said that banks are not permitted to open current accounts for borrowers who have availed agricultural personal overdraft OD or OD against deposits. RBI has reiterated that there is no restriction on opening of current accounts by any bank in case of borrowers who have not availed of cash credit or overdraft facility from any bank if exposure of the banking system to such borrowers is less than 5 crore rupees. In case the exposure of the banking system is 5 crore rupees or more but less than 50 crore rupees, there is no restriction on lending banks to such borrowers from opening a current account. Even non-lending banks can open current accounts for such borrowers, though only for collection purposes. It has said that the restriction applies to borrowers in case they avail of cash credit or overdraft facility, since all operations that can be carried out from a current account can also be carried out from a CC or OD account, as banks in a CBS environment follow a one bank, one customer model as against a one branch, one customer model. In Madhya Pradesh, the relief and rescue operations are being carried out in full swing in flood-affected areas. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan is constantly monitoring the flood situation arising out of the heavy rains in northern MP. Chief Minister also took stock of the situation in the flood-affected villages through aerial tour in Gwalior and Chambal divisions. More from a Bhopal correspondent.
The rescue operation is being jointly carried out with the help of district administration, police, army, air force, border security force, NDRF, SDRF and home guards. About 1,200 villages of Gwalior and Chambal divisions have been affected by floods and waterlogging. More than 6,000 people have been rescued so far. Adequate arrangements of food, water and accommodation are being made for people who have been rehabilitated in the relief camps. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In West Bengal, flood situation has worsened in 4 districts: Hooghly, Howrah, Purba Bardhaman and Paschimi Mednipur. More than 1,13,000 people have been evacuated to safer places. Over 43,000 people have taken shelter in 365 relief camps. Nearly 4 lakh hectares of agricultural land have been submerged. 23 persons have lost their lives due to rain-related incidents over the past few days. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to the next kin of the deceased. The injured will be given 50,000 rupees. The state government has also announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to the next kin of the deceased. India will resume their first innings with the overnight score of 21 for no loss against England in the opening cricket test of the 5-match series. England were all out for 183 runs in their first innings on day 1 at Trent Bridge in Nottingham yesterday. Earlier, England opened Joe Root won the toss and elected to bat first. For India, Jasprit Bumrah claimed 4 wickets while Mohammad Shami bagged 3 wickets.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to experience gently cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 26 and 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata will have gently cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar will experience partly cloudy sky. Jammu, Leh and Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will experience partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The minimum temperature is 22 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 37 degrees. Dehradun will have gently cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature is 24 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 29 degrees. Chandigarh will see gently cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature is likely to hover between 27 and 31 degrees Celsius. Guwahati will have gently cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. Imphal will have gently cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Shillong, Aizawl, Kohima, Itanagar, Gangtok and Agartala will have gently cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Port Blair is expected to have gently cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will vary between 26 and 29 degrees Celsius. Diu is expected to have gently cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum and maximum temperature will be between 26 and 30 degrees Celsius. Panjim will have gently cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will hover between 24 to 31 degrees Celsius. In Tokyo Olympics, India won bronze medal in the men's hockey, defeating Germany 5-4 in a high-scoring match.
ये बचाव होना जरूरी है, बचाव हो गया है। हम पड़ाव को समझे मंजिल, लक्ष्य हुआ आंखों से ओझल। वर्तमान के मोह पाश में आने वाला कल न भुलाएं। आओ फिर से दिया जलाएं, आओ फिर से दिया जलाएं, आओ फिर से दिया जलाएं।
सुनील, भारत ने इस मैच को किस्मत की लकीरों से चुराया है और इतिहास के इस पल को याद रखिएगा क्योंकि आप गवाह हैं एक नए इतिहास के पहले अध्याय का। भारत ब्रॉन्ज मेडल जीत चुका है, 40 साल बाद मेडल जीत चुका है ओलंपिक खेलों में। बहुत बहुत मुबारक।
As soon as the match began, Germany's Timur Oruz got an early lead for Germany. Simranjit Singh equalized for India in the second minute of the second quarter, which saw as many as 5 goals. However, Niklas Wellen gave a 2-1 lead to Germany, which was soon turned to 3-1 with the third goal hit by Benedikt Furk. But India hit back almost immediately with 2 swift goals to equal the scores 3-3. First, Hardik converted the penalty corner and then Harmanpreet Singh drag-flicked the third one for India. As soon as the third quarter began, India took the 5-3 lead with Rupinder Pal Singh's penalty stroke and Simranjit Singh's second goal of the match. Although Germany hit again in the fourth quarter and scored fourth goal, Indian men kept the lead intact till the last minute. India has won 8 Olympic golds in hockey, the last of which came 4 decades ago in 1980 Moscow Games. In wrestling, Ravi Dahiya will fight for gold against the reigning world champion Zavur Oguev of ROC in the freestyle 57 kg final. Meanwhile, in women's category, Vinesh Fogart entered the quarterfinal, beating Sofia Mattsson of Sweden 7-1. She now plays Vanessa Kaladzinskaya of Belarus. However, Anshu Malik's quest for bronze medal ended as she lost to Rio Olympic silver medalist Valeria Koblova of ROC 5-1. Later, Deepak Punia will fight for bronze medal in the 86 kg category in the men's section. In golf, Aditi Ashok and Diksha Dagar are now in action in the women's individual stroke play round 2.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Ram Temple to be ready by 2025, but devotees will be let in earlier, informs the Indian Express. Referring to the Dhanbad judge's death, the Statesman reports CBI takes over probe. Centre mulls Election Commission's proposal to link Aadhaar, voter ID, reports the Asian Age. UNSC against Afghanistan turning into Islamic Emirate, observes the Tribune. Border Roads Organization BRO builds highest road to support frontline LAC troops. The road is built at an altitude of over 19,000 feet, reports the Pioneer. Dahiya storms into final. India assured of another medal. Boxer Lovlina Borgohain settles for bronze in women's welterweight, reports the Hindu. And finally, Hindustan Times on its front page carries a photograph of India's first indigenous aircraft carrier Vikrant during sea trials. Under the caption, India tests indigenous warship, the paper writes that with this launch trials, India has joined the countries with niche capability to indigenously design, build and integrate a state-of-the-art aircraft carrier.
And in some more news, Bangladesh Railways earned a record revenue of over 176 crore taka by carrying freight through the India-Bangladesh interchange points in the year 2020-21. Bangladesh Railways said that 1,613 drags entered Bangladesh through the interchange points such as Rohanpur, Singhabad, Darshana Gede, Benapol, Petrapol and Birol Radhikapur sections. This amount is 100 crore taka, more than the revenue earned in the year 2019-20. And news just in, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Indian team for winning bronze. In a tweet, he said, historic, a day that will be etched in the memory of every Indian. Congratulations to our men's hockey team for bringing home the bronze. With this feat, they have captured the imagination of the entire nation, especially our youth. India is proud of a hockey team. And now, before I end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India beat Germany 5-4 to clinch bronze in the men's hockey at the Tokyo Olympics. Wrestler Vinesh Fogart enters the quarterfinal at the Tokyo Games. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh this afternoon. Centre states to consider imposing COVID restrictions and curb mass gatherings in view of upcoming festivals. More than 48 crore 89 lakh doses of corona vaccine administered in the country so far. Bihar government further eases COVID restrictions by allowing schools to resume academic activities with 50% attendance. In Jammu and Kashmir, 8.5 km long tunnel between Kazigund and Banihal open for traffic. Indian and Russian armies begin joint exercise Indra 2021 at Volgograd in Russia. And US approves arms sales worth $750 million to Taiwan amid tensions with China. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.